Hey there everybody, and welcome back to more Rule of Rose. So we are now one story down, two left to go, and this time we're going to be reading the central story, The Goat Sisters. Now the tale of the Goat Sisters is yet another macabre story. It doesn't really start out that way though, we just get the story of a younger and an older goat sister. Now the younger one seems to be mostly educated. It can write, it seems to want to communicate with its big sister, but it seems all the big sister wants to do is destroy and be rambunctious. And in the end, that kind of works against the big sister, as the little sister attempts to retrieve a letter she wrote, which invariably kills the big sister. Now you may also notice yet again we are missing a final page to the story. That's something we're going to have to keep an eye out for. But let's go ahead and get this chapter started. So it seems yet again a member of the aristocrats' upper class is missing something important to them. I guess we should probably keep an eye out for that, but well, it also seems like Meg has left behind her pencil. This is actually what we're hopefully going to use to follow behind her and maybe get some clues as to what she's looking for. But we should also take a quick look around the room. This is actually Meg's laboratory. She is quite the studious little inventor. And as to what she does in here, it's a bit up to question. But as we examine the room a bit more, we find some rather interesting blueprints for what appears to be some distillery for icky water. Definitely not sure why someone would want icky water, but finally we also find a lollipop. Very nice healing item, as we've seen before. But that actually covers everything we need to get in the laboratory. So let's go ahead and set the pencil to find and see if we can't figure out where Meg has gone off to. And we immediately find another lollipop. We're going to definitely need to be stockpiling the healing items for some particular fighting circumstances. Brown has stumbled on a new piece of Meg's writing. As we've seen before, she's pretty much the note-taker and scribe for the Aristocrats Club. And here we see a pledge that somebody could make to join the club. Mentions the monthly gift and the threat of punishment, all things we are fairly familiar with at this point. we come across Meg's second piece of writing here, and this is actually referring to something we found out first back in the prologue section, which is a little myth that the children seem to have regarding something they merely refer to as a stray dog. Now, whether or not we've actually even met the stray dog, maybe they're referring to Brown, we can't actually be for certain, especially not with this description that Meg seems to have transcribed from some secondary source. Either way, we should probably keep our ears to the ground and our eyes open for any more information regarding the stray dog, especially under the threat that the dog might someday take us away.
Go!
And rather mysteriously, inside of a small bound snowman, we find the last piece of writing associated with the pencil. A quickly scribbled together love letter from Meg to Diane. How rather odd. We also get confronted with another type of imp. The goat imp is not that different from what we've seen before. Does a little bit more damage, has a little bit more health. But maybe this brand new weapon, the ice pick, will actually be of some use against it. Now, the ice pick pretty much has the range of a knife, but it actually has an additional hit in its combo. And I've seen some places say that it is a fast weapon, but it does not actually seem that way. But we've actually found everything we can for the pencil, so let's try to actually see what we can find with that love letter we just found. And by following that love letter, it's actually going to make us backtrack just a little bit. So we're going to cut directly to that. And we see what is obviously Diane pretty much belittling and talking poorly of Meg. We also find another piece of Meg's writing here. And inside this notebook, we do notice that there is a breakdown of chapters. They're pretty much just one page apiece, mostly illustrations, such as the proper and geometrical means to curtsy. We also find the previous minutes from the meeting, I guess back in chapter 2 or 3. Another of Meg's torture devices. And something referring to a torture bag. Not really sure what that might be referring to, but well, Meg seems to have a very odd mindset. Also, there's some illusion that the orphanage has built airships. I assume that's an exaggeration, but who knows? So we are given half of one of the love letters between Diane and Meg here. Appears that she wants us to find the second half of it. Not actually sure why, since, well, she was pretty much trying to feed it to a goat beforehand. But let's go ahead and free up some space. We don't need most of these pieces of writing outside of the torn letter. And also, you may have noticed that we are using a new outfit, and as such, we do get a new weapon, the Master Syringe. So we are going to go ahead and equip that. Hopefully we'll get a little bit more use out of that than the ice pick. And with that, we can now follow the torn letter to hopefully its other half. Now on our long journey to find the other half, well, there is a little side trip I do want to take rather quickly into the wheelhouse of the airship. Yet again, this is another chapter of the game that has hidden away a little imp with a golden knife. But this one is especially rather difficult to find, mostly because you have to get here at a specific point, and, well, you get ambushed rather nastily by almost 6 different imps. So the best idea is to try to rush down, take out the one with the knife, and hope that you can get out before you get overwhelmed. As you kind of saw there, you can actually get hit out of the picking up animation, which makes it even more dangerous to get.
Go.
It still seems that Meg is on the lookout for what I can only presume to be this letter we have. I'm just going to make another quick jump here. We're actually going to head back to the Sector 8 stairway because now the little luggage compartment over here to the side is unlocked. And we run into a rather nasty mini-boss situation here. These are the goat sisters. Now, they may appear to be normal goat imps, but actually they have a lot more health, and their weaponry is, well, not only far-reaching, but actually extremely damaging. Now, what makes this fight even more cumbersome, as you can probably tell, is that they have rather difficult to telegraph and difficult to see invincibility frames. So not only do they have the reach over you, not only do they outnumber you, but it can just be very difficult to tell when you can actually hit them. Now you can sometimes distract one by having, well, there you can see Brown barking and causing it to cower. We are in a very dire situation here. Thankfully we barely managed to take both of them out before dying. But what we actually want in this room is over in that grandfather clock in the corner.
There you are. There you are. Why do you have it? How could she? How could she do that to me? What did I ever do to her? I can't get along with girls like her.
It's into the onion bag for her.
And yet again, rather unjustly, we see that Jennifer has been accused of something that she really didn't do. We also find that missing page from the Goat Sisters story here under a ragged goat doll. So let's go ahead and turn to that final page and see what the moral of the story is.